Hey guys, quick pop in before we get into this episode. Life got a bit crazy this week, so we were not able to record a new episode.
Yeah, we had the power go out for, I think, 5 or 6 hours?
It was out for quite a while. On recording day.
In the window that we normally record.
So we pulled one out of the vault.
Yeah, luckily we had an episode on the back burner, so that way when life hits us like this, we're ready for it. So you guys aren't going without an episode this week. We got you one. It's a little quicker than normal, but it's a fun one in my opinion.
It was a fun one. It was.
Yeah. Format might be a little bit different just because we did record it early on.
Audio might sound a bit different.
We might have different call to actions because we didn't have a website back then. I don't know. But enjoy, guys. I remember this being a fun one. It's a little goofy, so get your goofy hat on.
Definitely.
Enjoy the episode.
Thank you. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Darkives. I'm Jamie talking to Leo.
And I'm Leo listening to Jamie.
And this week I have a arguably pretty fucking funny story for you. I'm going to be telling you about the Erfurt Latrine disaster.
Latrine disaster. Okay, this is going to be a shitty situation, I'm guessing.
It's going to be a pretty shitty situation.
Okay. And as usual, you guys can follow us on our socials.
At Darkives Podcast.
Any kind of questions, comments, or if you'd like us to, like Jamie, to research something for a future episode.
Yep. Send suggestions. If you want to just even send me the area, I can look into some stories from your area. Let's get into how somewhere between 60 and 100 members of the Holy Roman Empire aristocracy ended up dead in the toilet. So a little bit of background with the city itself and some of the key players that we're going to have in this. Erfurt is a large city in Germany that today has a population of around 216,000 people. It was founded in 1120, and our story today takes place in 1184. So we're quite a ways back.
Mm-hmm.
At this time, Erfurt was ruled by King Heinrich, or Henry VI. This was a time of major political strife due to power struggles between feudal nobles and religious leaders of the Roman Catholic Church.
Okay.
Nothing new here. Almost any time we go back this far in history, it's riddled with political strife.
Yeah, politics and religion.
Mm-hmm. Along with King Henry, we have the Archbishop of Mainz, Conrad of Wittelsbach, and the Landgrave of Thuringia, Ludwig or Louis III.
What is a landgrave?
A landgrave is a count who ruled over a significant territory that had like its own sovereign rights.
Okay.
And you know what an archbishop is, so.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Conrad, and for the sake of the story, we're going to call him Louis. I've seen his name both ways, but they were getting into it. The reasoning behind this has been lost to history. We don't exactly know why, but just due to common problems back in the day.
They were feuding.
It was most likely like a land dispute or like control over some land. That's the best guesses. We don't know exactly anymore. Now, King Henry was real eager to put this problem to bed. So he convened a Hoftag, or like an informal assembly, consisting of dozens of aristocrats and high-ranking officials from across the empire. He's getting all these people together, and they are going to squash this beef. There's some debate on where it took place, but most people believe that the meeting took place in the Erfurt Cathedral. Again, I saw a few different places where it could have been, but we're going to put it in the cathedral for today. The Erfurt Cathedral started being built around 742. However, the buildings now on the land have been like built throughout time and added on. So there's no like official start date, end date. It's just been
Constantly been in development.
Yeah. I'm going to get into a little bit of potty talk here. Most large structures, think castles, cathedrals, stuff of that nature, in the 12th century featured toilets that protruded from the side of the building and had a hole that would drop out into the open.
Just right out into the side of the building, basically.
Usually dropping into a moat, stinking up the waters. But you can picture that, right? Just like a little
overhanging ledge with a hole in it. You sit down on your throne and you let it fly out into the wind.
There's actually, you can find paintings of that time where you can see these structures on like the castles, and underneath the walls are stained brown.
I mean, it makes sense.
I'm sorry, it does. It shouldn't make me laugh, but I'm an adult. This is fine. I'm not laughing over this. A little fun story. Gravenstein Castle in Ghent, Belgium, has a story on their audio tour that says the count and countess who lived there at the time would use the toilet, and the people of the village would watch for it so they could see what comes out of a count and countess. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have a hard time this episode.
They don't shit any different than us. See, told you, Timmy.
Okay. Okay. So this cathedral was set up a little bit differently, where the latrines were under the floor, dropping into a cesspit. So I shouldn't say under the floor. It was just under the floor of where this meeting is taking place. But essentially the bathrooms were like on the bottom floor, and everything just dropped into a pit or like a hole. It didn't just go out into the waters or anything like that.
So there's basically like a basement area that was just a septic tank.
Yes,
kind of an early on septic tank that's under the floorboards.
Yes. A cesspit back then was a pit or like almost a tank that was underground that was used to collect all the waste. Liquids would usually be absorbed into the ground while the solids would just build up until somebody called a gong farmer would come and remove everything from the pit with a shovel and a bucket. Unfortunately, for our story today, the cesspit had not been cleaned in quite a while in this cathedral. The meeting was taking place in an area called the deanery, which was right above the latrines and in turn the cesspit.
Couldn't have smelled very good down there.
I was thinking about that too. Like, even regardless of what we can assume happens here, it had to have been so fucking stinky. Why would you want to conduct a meeting in this particular building? Unless it's like a solid stone floor, which, based on context clues from what our title of this is, we know it's not. So you know that smell is seeping up through the floors. Kind of reminiscent of our Paris Catacombs episode. I mean, those fumes are going to be coming up through the floors. On July 25th, all the nobles, the king, and the two feuding men had arrived in town and were ready to get this show on the road. The next day, everyone is meeting up in this old deanery with the intentions of squashing whatever beef we got going on here. So they are all meeting in this cathedral that already the floors were aging, not sturdy enough to be holding all these men. I couldn't find exactly when this particular part was built, but it's not strong. The floors are not strong enough to hold all these people. So just as the meeting is getting started, the floor beneath the men collapses and all the men plummeted right into the cesspit.
So did they went through two sets of floors?
They had to have, yeah.
Yeah, because they're above the latrines.
And the cesspit, yeah.
Yeah, so you fall through the floor of the courtroom or wherever, your meeting room, plummet onto the latrine floors, break through that, and then you're in the pit below.
Yes.
Quite the tumble.
Oh, even take away the fact that we're falling into human waste. Fucking ow. I just fell through 2 floors. Like, oh my God. That's brutal enough. But then on top of it, they are falling into human shit. Just a pool of it.
Yeah, nasty.
Almost all the men, the lucky ones, died right away from the fall or from the falling woodwork, the floor falling down.
Being crushed,
being impaled, whatever, however the floor falling down would do. Other men obviously drown in the, yeah,
disgusting.
I know. Or some even, it was reported that they asphyxiated from the noxious fumes that had been building up down there.
Yeah, it's just too dense of a stank to breathe.
You can't breathe. They literally were suffocating. That's brutal. Honestly, I'm praying that I fell straight onto my head. I'm lights out the second that I get down. I don't want to have to sit there.
I'm hoping that I was near a wall and I could have grabbed a window or something.
Oh, well, leading me right into my next point here. Somehow the 3 key main figures in this story miraculously survived. King Henry and Archbishop Conrad had stepped away like moments before this happened into a stone-floored alcove to privately discuss something about this fight. And after the collapse, they held onto iron railings on the wall until help arrived and they were safely recovered.
Just dangling from the walls, basically.
Yeah. And Louis survived, but there aren't any remaining records indicating how he managed to do so. But picture you are King Henry. You invited all these men, and somewhere between 60 and 100, you invited all these men to fix a problem between 2 other dudes, and they all end up drowning in the king's shit. Fuck you. And he lived.
That is wild. Was there anybody who fell down that made it out? Because I'm guessing when you fall down, there might be a ladder from the latrine level, or ladder or staircase from the latrine level up to the main floor. That stairwell might have remained intact, maybe. But I'm guessing there's nothing for the level below that where the pits were.
I couldn't find anybody else who survived. I could not find any names that survived. But I also had this thought, and I was like, well, the gong farmers get in there somehow to clean this out. So there had to be a way out of the cesspit, like in and out.
I go purely off of speculation that there could be like a trapdoor that you'd slide a ladder down in or something like that.
Maybe.
I don't think there'd be a normal way to get up and down, because there's not going to be like a staircase going down to that.
I was kind of picturing like the basement in It, where the ground is all flooded down there and there's just the staircase. I was kind of picturing that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it was the fall was too great or the men just couldn't move. I don't know. I don't know how. Like nobody down there was able to be saved, be rescued, or live. After this whole disaster, the issues between Louis and Archbishop Conrad may or may not have been resolved, but there's no evidence of whether or not they continued feuding after this. So maybe they were like, that was traumatic. Maybe we should stop fighting over land. Or maybe they were like, well, you should have died in the shit too. I take this land. We don't know either way.
Yeah, kind of wild. They get together, it's this big spectacle. 2 guys been feuding over something. King's like, all right, we're going to settle this shit.
Nah.
Literally everybody falls into shit. Except for the 3.
Yeah, our 3.
Only the 3 make it.
I'm not positive about that. I only found that they survived. There were no other names that were mentioned of people who did survive. So I can't say for sure that nobody else did, but nobody else was reported that I could find.
Yeah, but still, they all go there for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
There's a mass incident.
Mm-hmm. Mass shit-cident.
And all we take away is the incident. We don't know anything about what the outcome of this problem was. We don't really know the problem. It's funny how little information there is right now about this.
I know. All we really know is what happened. That's it. I knew this episode was going to be a little bit shorter, but it is it's too extreme to not talk about. This is insane. Somewhere between 60 and 100 men died in a pile of shit. That is insane to me.
It's pretty fucking crazy.
Louis went on to participate in the Third Crusade and the Siege of Acre, but 6 years later, in 1190, he fell ill and wanted to return home. On a ship near Cyprus, though, he ended up passing away. So he never made it home. He died on a ship. Archbishop Conrad continued his churchly duties, was also involved in the Third Crusade, and 16 years later, in the year 1200, he died while returning to what was then the Kingdom of Hungary.
Is this 16 years after the Crusade or 16 years after the
After
incident?
the event, after the disaster.
Okay.
King Henry, however, fucking thrived. He went on to become arguably the most powerful man in the world at that time, with the title of Holy Roman Emperor, King of Germany, Burgundy, Italy, and Sicily, feudal overlord of the kings of England, Lesser Armenia, and Cyprus, and tributary lord of northern African princes.
I mean, really good for a guy who almost drowned in shit.
Yeah, that's probably why we don't know too much about this. He was like, we gotta not talk about that. I got big things planned. We cannot be talking about this event anymore.
Yeah, you don't want to be known as the king that was dangling for his life on an iron wall waiting for help to arrive over a shit pit.
A shit pit. How fucking foul. Or you also don't want to be known as the dude who got all these men together, and you're kind of the reason they're dead.
Last time we went to one of Henry's parties, nobody came out.
Nobody came out alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to be known for that. He died in Messina from malaria in 1197, so about 13 years after the Latrine disaster. He did all that in 13 years. Pretty badass man.
Busy boy.
Busy boy. And that is the shitty little story of the Erfurt latrine disaster.
that was definitely a lot looser than some of the other ones. Yeah, never heard of that though. So that was
brutal.
Fun little
so
thing.
Gross. Thanks for listening to another episode of the Darkives. Hope you guys learned something new today. We will see you next week as we uncover another Darkive together.
See you guys next time.
Goodbye.